Hi subscribers, it's been a long time, and although I'm smiling now, it's only because I just recorded a video of about an hour and I just watched it. It was so self-indulgent that I decided not to upload it to start again and to make it a lot shorter. Things have been pretty awful for no reason other than I have a guy living on top of me. Last time I recorded a video, I had no one living on top of me, and I set up my apartment, and I was ready to get to work, and I was just so focused and gave you guys the truth behind the story. And by the time I started to look at the comments, I got a new roommate on top of me. New roommate. He feels like a roommate. I got a new tenant on top of me. And the guy, he never goes out of the house. He never leaves the home. He's always there making noise. I've never had that before. I curse him. I've carved an X in his door. I put the fire extinguisher in front of his door to try to figure out when he was leaving, and then he called the landlord about me, and I got in some trouble about that. And then I was freaking out another day, screaming in the hallway. And the owner of the building happened to be in the building, and he heard it, and he was very alarmed. But my landlord, who knows me well, covered for me. I mean, he knows that I'm not the only one who loses their mind due to noise. I have a friend across the street, across the hallway, and she's worse than me. She's not as threatening. Well, no, she is. She goes ballistic when she has a new tenant on top of her. There's a lot of people who cycle through this building because it's a monthly rental, so the floors and the walls are incredibly thin, but the floors and the ceilings are particularly annoying. I mean, I hear every move the guy makes, and everything creaks, and it's just, the microphone picks up everything, so I have not been able to record a video because I'm beginning, and all of a sudden it's crackety creak. So I decided to try to go back to the old ways. I used to work, and I was all night. When my brother was alive, may his soul rest in peace, I would work with him. He'd do his thing on eBay, and I'd be doing my programming, from about 8 at night until about 6 or 7 in the morning. So I'm going to try going back to that schedule. Maybe I'll get back into working, because I've tried everything to get back and start developing again. And I've learned 3D graphics. I really want to get into that in order to be able to illustrate and create prototypes, and there's a whole bunch of reasons for that. And I've watched 86 tutorials twice, taken notes. I know how to do it. I've loaded the programs, Blender 3D, and I've worked it, and so this is working. But I can't sit still. I cannot sit still. I've never had this problem. I believe it's the noise on top of me, because I've been able to sit still now for a good hour, which is the longest probably in a month and a half. I just get triggered. I get triggered by noise. It's been with me for maybe a decade. No, it started when my brother died. The noise would really, 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 really trigger my anxiety and just stress. And when I moved into this building, there's been construction outside. And I've had loud roommates on top of me, loud tenants on top of me. But this guy does not leave the house, so once he's up, that's it for me. I can't stay in the house and relax until he goes to bed. So I think I've figured out a solution, because otherwise I'm going to have to go on the street or find a new apartment, because either one of those is a better solution. If I were to go live on the street in the summer again, I have so many friends out there. I'd have a lot of money in my pocket, and there's one guy out there who's, I haven't told you about him. I met him about a year ago, maybe now. No, I met him in the summer. It's been about 8 months. And he was just recently homeless at that point. He has a wife and 2 daughters. And his wife upped and left him one day, went back to Mexico. So he became traumatized, ended up on the street, sent all his money to Mexico. So when he gets his welfare check, instead of getting an apartment the way I did, he just he sends it over. He doesn't want. He's the way I was at the beginning. He doesn't want anything. He had a bike, that he found or he bought, and I was like, wow, nice bike. He's like, you want it? I'm like, what do you mean, Joe? I want it. I'm like, you need your bike, man. He's like, no, I don't want anything. Because I don't want anything. So he goes, look, he goes, look how I lock it. So he has no money for a lock. He's, the old telephone cords that are like a spiral? He ripped one out of the wall somewhere. And he took it and used it to make it look like a bike lock. And it works because there's a lot of bike locks that have that spiral. Anyways, that's how he would lock his bike in a city in which every bike gets stolen. So I said, dude, your bike's gonna get stolen. He's like, dude, I want my bike to get stolen. I'm like, but you like it? He goes, yes, but I don't want anything in my life. I know exactly where he's at. I was there. Imagine this kid, right? He's a great guy. He's a kid. I think he's 31. He's a programmer as I am. He's living outside most of the time overnight in the freezing cold. As long as it's not deadly, he's outside. He doesn't go inside the shelter because he can sleep inside. But when you go inside, there's a curfew, so it means they have to go in around 8 or 10, and they can't leave really until about 6 in the morning. And if it's bearable outside, they want to be able to smoke and just be loud, and so they find a place and they stay outside. But he's reading books. He's showing me the books he's reading. One is on codependency, and one is on the Oedipus complex. And I'm thinking, I can't believe this. From the outside. Oh, and when I saw him, he looked, pristine, clean shaven. He looked, like a regular guy. Now he's got a beard like this. He's wearing 16 layers of clothes. So if you were to see him, you would think he's a bum. You'd think this guy is like a lost, a derelict. But like I'm telling you, as I found out, the vast majority of people who live outside or who are homeless or on welfare, at least in this city, are the most intelligent, well-read, articulate, open, and emotionally in touch people that I've ever met. And that's probably why it's very hard for me to imagine going back to normal life, or have to integrate with people who have no idea. They call it the red pill and the blue pill, the millennials, in their own little way, but the way I see it, it's like that. A lot of people think that, I met a guy, he's a great friend of mine. Oh, another friend of mine, how about this? He said, life is just crazy. Really good guy. All my friends now, I have a lot less friends than I did. I got rid of all the garbage. All the guys who were just, they weren't really helping. They weren't on my level. So I have less friends, but the ones I have now are really strong. And they're very much like me, and I really appreciate it, because I watch their life, and I'm always shocked at how much I end up feeling a lot more normal. And when I see this guy reading the Oedipus complex and codependency on the street in minus 20-degree weather with a lighter and a beard, when just 6 months ago he had a wife and 2 kids, in a happy home. It's sad, but we have to laugh at it. So this other guy, a really great guy, I see him 6 months ago. I tell him about my father's pedophilia and everything I had discovered, because he's a good friend of mine, and I had been speaking to him about it since it happened. He saw me many times, and he was very supportive of me doing what I was doing. He was impressed the way because we worked together at the same company. We both made good money. And I said, dude, I'm not working anymore. I'm living better than when I was working with you. I feel much better. So he had actually gotten a job again with that company. 3 years later, they called him out of the blue. And I'm like, are you crazy? You went back? He's like, yeah, I went back, but you know what? Maybe it's a lot easier this time because they already know me. I'm like, great. So I saw him last week. He says, you're not going to believe what happened. I knew what happened. I said, tell me what happened. He says, well, I was really feeling good about the job, and I had an opportunity to go to Las Vegas for a week, so I took a week off to go to Las Vegas, and when I came back, they fired me. So now I'm broke, and I have no job, because I'm in your situation again. So I'm like, wow. It's like, that's the way the world works. They don't want to give you a break. Poor guy, he worked for them many years, he just wanted a week off. You know, the bosses take as much time as they want off. They couldn't have it, so they fired him. So he took his last, he said he has $2,000, and he moved to Mexico out of the blue. He just, you know, he had that sense of trauma, I suppose, where you just have to get away. You've got to change. And now he's in Mexico, and I'm gonna Facebook him to see if he's all right. I'm a little bit worried about him going there on such a short notice. I hope he's going to be safe. I worry about Mexico. A lot of Canadians have gotten murdered in Mexico, a lot, and I didn't want to tell them that, but you know, I'm really concerned. Great guy. You know, I wouldn't want anything to happen to him. You know, just fuck. But it's just funny. So I'm gonna pitch something to you people, and I just want you to tell me if you like this idea, because I can feel I get back into programming now. This is the best state of mind I've been in about since I recorded my last video, because there's nobody walking on top of me. I mean, I'm telling you, he never leaves the house, this guy. So when this new tenant, it's just driving me nuts. I want to create a system similar to YouTube, but just for recovery of trauma, different kinds of trauma, because I feel a great affinity to, for example, victims of school shootings or relatives of victims of school shootings. I feel a great affinity to, even if someone has a car accident and they're damaged physically, I recognize there's got to be a traumatic side to that, a mental anguish, a psychological shock. And I really feel like whether it's a psychopath in your life or having your nephew die in the World Trade Center, for example, it's a very similar wound. Anyhow, so, and a lot of these people can't find support. And I really can't find support. I mean, I go on YouTube for support, and I create YouTube videos to help myself and others, but at the end of the day, it's not really what, you know, psychologists or therapists recommend to get better. Really, it's about group therapy. And group therapy has helped me in the past through addictions and through all kinds of other issues. So I want to create an online video chat site where you can go on and you can create a channel or a group, basically a hangout, really. It's basically like a hangout that's open 24 hours a day. It's really what it is. So say there's parental narcissistic abuse. There would be a place that you'd be able to go at any old time of the day, 24 hours, and see if anyone's hanging out talking. It's a video chat, so you're going to see them. You're going to get the physical, the visual feedback, the empathy and the compassion that we can see, that we can't read. You know, and each channel or each hangout will be, or each chat room will be for a specific trauma, because I honestly do not like talking about my parental narcissistic abuse at the same time as talking about the psychopathic ex-girlfriend I had, because they're just different in so many ways. The dynamics were just, they were different. And what happened to the rest of my head? Sorry about that. Oh, now you know my studio, what it looks like. Let me get back into there. Hello? Alright, anyways. So, so I want to create a site where you just go on and you can just see if anyone's hanging out in your trauma channel. And it's actually called TraumaCircles. So you create a circle for whatever trauma someone is dealing with. And in order to be a participant in that circle, to get notifications when people are hanging out or to join it, you've got to create a little short video of yourself and introduce yourself. That way we can ensure that there's not going to be any trolls. There's not going to be any people who don't belong. If you've got it's just a better way to heal and to recover socially on the internet than I think exists right now. And the simplicity of it is really what I'm trying to pitch. I just want to create a site where I can go and you can go when you're feeling that you're at the point of no return, you're going to break down, or you're just despondent, whatever it is. Or for people who are not even getting this thing going down again, for people who are not even getting any therapy and don't even know, and they show up on our channel, we may be able to save lives. I imagine there'll be a lot of people who show up who just don't know where to turn. It's their first time. They're the way I was 2 years ago, or maybe some of you are now, and be able to save some lives, because I never told you about one story that really sits with me harsh. There's a girl I went to school with. She was working in Wall Street. You know what? I'll tell the video. I'll tell her story in the next video. It's really sick. It's really sad. She's another one who died of narcissistic abuse, suicide. And I think she could have been saved. She came back to the city to live with her mother after losing her job during the Wall Street crash. And within 2 weeks, she was dead of suicide. And when I searched for her obituary, do you know what I found? I found her posting a week before that she wanted someone to mail her pills that she can kill herself with. And someone responded. 2 guys responded, "I'll send you the pills." Traumatized the hell out of me. That was actually the beginning of my real... I couldn't believe it, that there was actually e-commerce for death. And I found so many articles about her. Not about her in death, but about her life as a very well regarded... it's a horrible story, people. So I want to know if I should bother. I will not go and ask anyone for money for this, not until it's at least halfway done, or it's already done and getting some traffic and needs to be sustained or, you know, made better. But would you think it's a good idea? It's like a social network, but it's not, because it's like YouTube and a social network combined a bit, based on traumas, individuals. For example, there'd be a trauma channel for school shooting survivors. I'm losing my head again. This keeps... I'm gonna fix this. School shooting survivors. And so anyone who, you know, Parkland shooting, poor kids, they're traumatized. I mean, they have each other, but maybe some don't. Or maybe the relatives, they don't know who to turn to, right? The father or mother of, or the brother or the sister of someone who got killed in the school. They're not going to the school. A lot of those people will suffer, you know, severe PTSD. I mean, and they have nowhere to turn to. So imagine a school shooting video chat channel. You have to record who you are, so people have to accept you in the channel, so there's no lunatics, psychopaths trying to cause trouble. There's no trolls. That's really something that I'm going to make sure is a major feature, is to keep out the trolls and keep out the voyeurs. I fear that my psychopaths and narcissists will be watching this, taking notes, and use it against me. I'm willing to take that risk, but that's probably because I have nothing to lose. And because I have them both very well against the wall. And I mean, that's the truth. Both of them, I have written the whole story out. I mean, if my parents do anything to me, they know damn well that this video will become front page news. And they'll be caught. And my ex-girlfriend, I recorded all the details I know about her and people she deals with. And I gave it to a friend who's a police woman. And I gave it to my lawyer. And I said, don't do anything with it. I like the girl. I don't want to get her in trouble. I'm not against what she does. But if anything happens to me, this is who did it. And I told my ex-girlfriend that. And it's been 5 years, so I'm sure she's confident that I didn't do anything stupidly. Rat her out. I had no intention of doing that. Even though she had me arrested for nothing, you know. I deserved it in the end of the day, right? My parents set me up for that kind of relationship. And if not for her, I wouldn't know about my parents. And I see her all the time. I don't really want to be her enemy. And I know what she's all about, and she has only enemies. Okay, she's a really antisocial psychopath, but you know, I know she also has her inner circle of, you know, snickering, no good nicks. I don't know. I think in the end of the day, she's more mischievous than actually evil, but I'm also pretty sure that if you told her that we're going out to kill someone tonight, she'd say, "Oh, can I come?" So, you know, I'm 100% sure that she has a sadistic sexuality. Whenever I would, I guess, turn her on, where someone might say, "Oh," or "Oh yeah," or, "Ooh," she would go, "Ouch," and that was really telling. Ouch. And not when I would hurt her. I mean, if I would say, "Oh, you look great, babe, today. You're like really hot," and I would love to. I can't wait to get home and just, you know, throw you onto the bed after. She would go, "Ouch," which was cute. But now I'm thinking, now that I understand what a psychopath is, and know she's a psychopath, and I know that she was most likely luring me into my death or to my demise, and she probably at 100% surely has done that to men in the past, because she was involved in a huge war here which killed hundreds. And I read it all the time, that the way they get these guys alone is they have a prostitute lure them. So, you know, I was in serious danger. I'll leave it at that. I want to hear your feedback on the channel. And I will try to record again and do this regularly, because I have notes here that I want to talk about, specifically fallacies. I mean, I can't wait. I can't wait, but I'm going to see if I can do this regularly and get to programming and that site, because I would love to be able to go right now to a video chat site, show my face, and see if there's anybody out there, first of all, who may be traumatized the way I am, but perhaps is worse off, doesn't know where to turn. Perhaps there's someone there who may be able to set me straight, because I have my own problems. And it's just a more interactive, more human, and more restricted in scope Hangouts. Give me your feedback on that, please. If everyone's doing okay. This really looks like it's working. I think I'm going to be up every night and take care of my business and my programming and try to get human again by working at night, because during the daytime, with my new tenant on top of me walking back and forth, never leaving the house at all, I've lost my mind, and I will have to leave this place if I don't get something going. So I hope this is it. And if you guys tell me, I only need a few people tell me, yeah, I think it's a good idea, I'll start right away. And I hope someone tells me that, even if they don't believe it's true, because see, I kind of need that to motivate myself. And I really think that just one comment would probably get me going. And by the way, I have not looked at my comments. I'm too scared to get triggered. You know, with my whole story out there, I don't want to be invalidated. Maybe I'll do it now. Anyways, hope everyone's doing okay. Hope I didn't bore you. Just let me know what you think of that Hangouts idea for traumas. There'll be different trauma channels: school shootings, accident victims, natural disasters, narcissistic abuse, rape, police brutality. These are all, you know, we can all heal the same way, but when you want to get your validation, you really want to deal with people who have gone through the same thing. And saving lives. That's really the end game. Because I was close to death, you know, and I'm definitely saved. As bad things can get now, you know, I've come a long way in 2 years. All right, see you soon.